Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company Eric Tilson Show, presented by Starnes Barber, where we cover everything on the Tundra with the North Greene Huskies football team. As always, I'm joined here with Huskies head coach Eric Tilson. Coach, how are we doing today?
Welcome back.
Back to the round table.
Back to the round table.
We went to Starnes Barber last week, by the way. Great haircuts.
Yeah,
I enjoy mine. You enjoy yours?
Oh, yeah. It was real short.
It was real short?
Literally.
I had somebody ask me, too, whenever they saw that we did an interview in Starnes Barber without even watching the video, they texted me and said, how long could it have been for Eric to get a haircut? And I was like, not very long, if you go to that part. It wasn't very long. But
well, probably could have been done about 3 minutes.
It probably could have.
Quick shave and go, but he'll pamper a little bit.
Hey, nonetheless, though, he did a wonderful job.
Oh, yeah.
Look forward to going back sometime during basketball season. Might do one more at the end of football season. Hey, who knows?
I know.
We joked about going to the Tundra at some point this year, too, because it had been too hot outside, and bam, before you know it, it's about too cold out there now.
I've got my jacket on today. It's actually starting to feel like football weather. Unfortunately, 3 or 4 weeks left, so.
The middle of October is when it finally gets down into the 50s. 2 weeks ago, we were in the 70s, close to the 80s, and that's just how quickly it changes in Tennessee.
Yep, it might get hot again. You never know.
That's usually how it goes. You go back down to what you feel like is going to be a cool fall, and then you get one more heat wave before you finally go into a fall that blends into a winter. But you had the bye week last week. Of course, not much to talk about on a bye week. Not much to talk about anyway because, as you mentioned,
we did go undefeated last week.
That is true.
So,
I always like to say the bye week.
We also didn't play anybody. So.
Yes, the bye week usually presents your toughest competition, and that's yourselves. The good news is in that scenario, though, you can never take a loss. But for you all, you didn't practice last week. I know we talked about it at the end of last week's interview in Starnes Barber. You took last week to kind of take the time to help those in need, recovery, cleanup efforts, some of the flood victims. You had taken a few boys out there while we were in Starnes Barber. You told me that you would send a group out to somewhere also to help clean up. So talk about last week and the efforts that you all made to help flood victims.
Well, it was one of those deals. We didn't make it mandatory last week, but we wanted to provide opportunities all week. I was really encouraged the amount of response we got from people in the community to be like, hey, can you come help with this? Other people, hey, can you come help down here? Just got phone calls, and we just took every advantage that we could. And it was a good response from our kids. And some of it was down and dirty work. Some of it was handing out water. Some of it was going to distribution centers. And one of our teachers, Miss Tana Stansfield, took a group down to Newport on the day we were filming, and she was joking that the people down in Newport kept yelling over, "Hey, you North Greene boys, get over here!" And they said they worked them hard, and they said our kids really responded well, and they actually had to tell them, it's like, hold on, you got to let these boys eat, because apparently they were just raw, because those kids would just grab whatever they could and just would go put it on a truck, because they were apparently moving one distribution site to another, so they were just loading up stuff, trying to move it into a different facility. So it's good to be able to help stuff like that. And you might not see the people receiving the supplies, but if we weren't doing that, somebody else had to do it, and it might delay the process. It might prevent somebody from getting it when they really do need it, especially now. We joke about it becoming the Tundra now, but there are people who, like, this cold weather is pretty scary. So at least being able to get the supply chain one step further so that people can get it, that's real encouraging. And I told our team coming out, I said, especially for the guys who went out and supported and served, it is really hard to be sad and upset when you're helping somebody else. It just kind of changes your whole outlook, and if you provide yourself that opportunity, then you start to become really grateful, and it puts you in a good mood, which is something I think, especially with everything going on our kids, it's good for them to experience that and kind of have like, let's go out and help because we can, because at some point we might need to help.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about people in this area, they're willing to go out and go help at a drop of a whim. So very appreciative of everybody, and it does feel good to serve, and it was nice. One day, basically, like all the coaches at North Greene went down and cleaned out a barn. It's just, and it's good, because you hadn't seen everybody in a while, and so because no school, no practice there for a few days, where they said can't do anything. So it was good to get everybody back, and then now it's good to get back in school, and kind of get back into a routine now.
And it was a beautiful thing to see with a group helping on Thursday in Newport while we were filming. You talked about going out and cleaning the barn. I know that the week before that, whenever things were, I just called them unusual in every interview that I did, just because you never knew how things were going to be when you woke up that day. But you offered your field and everything to Chucky Doak, so you had them come in and practice also. You've offered a lot of help through this time period too, and I think that's beautiful to see out of the North Greene community, because it's a community that I think has been known for helping others in the past too, because it's such a small, tight-knit community that help one another no matter what.
Yeah, I want to preface that I didn't offer much of that. I just a small piece of it, and other people came up with the ideas, because and we as a group were more than happy to help out and offer up what we have. Because again, we're all going through trying times and want to try to help each other. So that's kind of the thought process behind it, because football is important, but these type of moments can last with you for a lifetime. And then maybe if it changes the mind of one of our kids, that 20 years from now it's like, hey, I remember doing that, or hey, I remember offering that. Let's do that now than when they're adults, and it might change their mindset to be able to help somebody else, and that's the kind of life change that you want to see.
It was a beautiful thing to see. Didn't have any practice last week, got back into practice this week. We're on Wednesday now. Did you practice Monday?
Yes.
Okay, I knew there was no school Monday.
Yeah, we're back in a normal week, so we're kind of getting back on schedule, getting back in the routine. We've practiced twice this week, Monday, Tuesday, coming in Wednesday, and then we'll practice today and tomorrow. And
got a big game Friday.
Big game Friday.
Got a big game Friday against a big Region 1 opponent. You got Unaka coming up on the schedule. We'll preview that in just a second, but of course we need to get a few words from our sponsors in first. So we'll see you in just a minute to talk about that game against the Rangers here on Grassroots Media.
My name is Robert Starnes. I'm a lifelong resident of North Greene County, where I currently reside here with my wife and 3 children. I was a barber in Greenville for the last 6 years, but I have recently changed locations to my new shop in Baileyton. It's at 285 Mortis Hollow Lane, Afton. I'm also a proud supporter of North Greene Athletics. Come see me for all of your men and boys grooming needs. Go Huskies!
Baileyton Drug Company services the surrounding communities of Baileyton with excellent patient care using a full-line pharmacy, over-the-counter selections, and a convenient drive-thru. When you visit us, you are treated as a neighbor, not a number. It's not just our slogan, but our culture. We're investing in our patients, local schools, and community. For over 5 years now, we have established ourselves as an independently family-run pharmacy that isn't driven by corporate goals. We are driven by what is best for your overall health and wellness. We're conveniently located so you don't have to make the drive. Prescription drugs are just the tip of the iceberg. We also offer natural remedies, essential oils, at-home medical needs such as walkers, rollators, bath accessories, as well as wound care products. And coming soon, basic urgent care services. What makes us better than other drugstores out there? When you frequent Baileyton Drug, you will receive professional, courteous, and friendly service that goes above and beyond any other pharmacy in the area. Remember, you're a neighbor, not a number.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts. The Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company Eric Tilson Show, presented by Starnes Barber, where we cover everything on the Tundra with the North Greene Huskies football team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Eric Tilson. We talked about it getting a little colder now.
Yep.
Starting to feel like the Tundra out there a little bit more. If you go to a game on Friday night and you're in that cold weather and you get a little sick, you wake up on Saturday morning, who do you call?
I got to call Baileyton Drug.
Baileyton Drug.
I got to get my allergy medicine. I got to stuff for my sinuses, and got to call them up to get taken care of.
They'll get you right. So if you go to a North Greene game on Friday night, whether that be the Unaka game, the Cloudland game, or the Cosby game, you wake up on Saturday morning feeling a little sick. Hey, it don't even have to be Saturday morning. If you wake up any of the other 6 days feeling a little sick, call Baileyton Drug Company. Go in there. They'll get you what you need to feel better. But you got Unaka on Friday night. Big opponent, a big game, because it's a Region 1 1A game. You'd won your previous 2 games, looking to go 3-0 within the region. Looked at the region schedule before I walked in here. If you win this game, you lock yourself into no less than the 3rd seed going into the playoffs with this win. So it's a big game on Friday night. You're traveling on the road to go up there to Stoney Creek and play the Rangers. What's the vibe like going into this game on Friday night?
Well, it's like it's been all year. It's about us. It's about how we go out and execute, and that's the thing. And I would describe this Unaka team. They haven't had a whole lot of team success this year, but they are very dangerous. We saw that in game 1, which was the last game they were healthy for the entire rest of the year. They've got a few playmakers that can score from anywhere on the field. Their coach describes them as dangerous. I describe them as dangerous. Everybody describes them as dangerous because they've given up a lot of points this year, but they can also score quite a bit. And when they have all their playmakers, they can score 40, 50 easily.
I've seen it personally.
Yeah, and they can do it. And they have the ability. Now the quarterback don't have a whole lot of time to get the ball out, but they have a lot of unique. They're well designed, and I would quietly think they're one of the best coached teams in this area. Coach Bennett does a great job offensively. He coaches their offense. He does a lot of the 2 quarterback stuff. Like they'll run a toss, sweep, and run smash off of it. And all of a sudden he's throwing the deep corner route off of a toss sweep. They'll hand the ball off. He'll run boot action. And all of a sudden they're throwing it to the quarterback on a tunnel screen. So they do a lot of unique stuff in that regards, which we saw last year. They've done it since they've been there. But it's well designed. He can scheme it up to go score. So we have to do a real good job defensively, just being in position where we're supposed to be. Because quite frankly, we can't prepare for all of it. There's too many formations. There's too many different looks that they throw at us that we just have to be prepared and be in our own positions. That's why it's a lot about us. Now they've struggled quite a bit defensively, being able to stop people, but that's come from inexperience and throughout the year. But each game that they become more experienced in that regard, and they've gotten a whole lot better. And now they have a new defense coordinator this year, who I personally know. Played. We both went to the same college. He was an All-American linebacker there, and he was actually. He's been a college defense coordinator, coached against him when I was at Emory, and he had one of the best defenses. I remember a game. He was a defense coordinator, and it's late in the 4th quarter, and the score is 9-6. There was not a touchdown scored in that game at that point, and so they had. He knows how to coach defense. He does a good job, and he got there about 2 weeks into the season. So he hasn't really been there a whole lot of time to really make a impact. So that's where each and every week they're going to continue to get better, because they are well coached, and things they got some playmakers that can play, but they are going into a pretty tough stretch here. So hopefully we take advantage of that, and but that's why it's all about us, about how we go out and go execute, about us doing assignment football, about defensively being where we're supposed to be, coverage wise. If you're supposed to play a deep zone that you're over top of the routes, if you're supposed to play flat, you play it aggressively. If you're supposed to force, keep the ball inside. If you're a spill player, you're supposed to go through B gap, you play B gap. Different stuff like that. Just doing your job. And then if they run a bunch of stop routes at 10 yards because we're deep over top of it, so be it. Make them throw it over and over and over again. And then offensively, if they hit a big play because they add an extra hat, well, we can live with that because more than.
If there is any student who has not yet signed up for their Walter State dual enrollment for next semester, after you have permission from your teacher, please come to the guidance office.
Better sign up for dual enrollment.
No doubt. College is real important here.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually do a real good job getting kids to college and stuff like that. And actually took one of our players to a college game this weekend. They're talking about the FAFSA and everything, and that's getting ready to open up. So if
I don't miss that.
Oh, no, not at all. I definitely don't. So they're talking about make sure keeping grades up and everything, which at the end of the 9 weeks, so all our players watching, make sure to keep up with your grades right now. So do your homework.
Hey, even if you're not one of his players, keep your grades up.
Please. That was one thing. One of my jobs at Emory, I coach football, but I was also our admissions liaison for athletic department. So my eyes were really opened up when I sat in on a financial aid meeting, and they're talking about how much money they got to make and stuff to be profitable as a university. And one thing that fascinated me was it's like every 0.25 points on a GPA and every 2 points on the ACT is an extra $1,000 of scholarships.
Oh, wow.
So if you increase your GPA by 0.25 points, that's $1,000. Then if you get another 2 points on your ACT, that's another $2. And then you multiply that over 4 years, that ends up being quite a bit of money. So
they make more money off of you than you realize.
Oh yeah. So that's why academics so important. So especially if you want to play college football.
Absolutely.
So because a lot of the schools, school we went to, they can stack money, athletic and admissions money. So academic. So it's really important. So especially when you play at the next level. But,
yep.
Yeah, I'm distracted by the announcements.
Oh, that's okay.
But like I said, it's important to do what we're supposed to do coming into this game. We can have some advantage in special teams. That was big for us last year.
Very big. Now that I remember.
We want to take advantage of that. If we can get a punt return, a block punt, take advantage of kickoffs and kickoff returns, we need to do that because again, they are a dangerous football team who hasn't had a lot of success, and it would make them they couldn't be any more happy to try to ruin our season. And that's the mindset that they're going to come into. They have nothing to lose at this point. They're going to go play hard. They played hard all year. They've had a lot of injuries this year, and they are healthy now. They have everybody back, and so they're going to play hard. They're going to try to put us in a bind schematically, and we just got to be able to hold together, get stops when we need to, and make plays. Because when we get to the end of this interview, it's going to be the same things. We got to take care of our own business.
Well, you're pretty good at doing these interviews now because you walk into these and you answer every question that I have down here. I don't know if you're cheating and just looking at my notes a little bit.
I'd have to look over here. So,
but you're pretty good at it now. I don't know how many off the top of my head, but thinking back to it, we've probably done close to 40 interviews now over your 4 years here at North Greene. So you know what questions I'm going to ask, and you always know what the last question is when you come down to it. You've got 3 keys to the game that you need to carry out to pick up a win in Stoney Creek on Friday night over the Rangers. Can we expect any different?
Absolutely not.
Great effort, great tackling, playmakers making plays.
Absolutely.
See, we're getting too good at these interviews now. We're going to have to shake it up a little bit because you know exactly what questions are coming.
Maybe you can start off with, hey, what's your keys to victory this week?
Okay, I'll start off with that first.
Yeah,
maybe we'll come in.
Throw me off guard.
Maybe we'll come in here one week. You joked about it last week off air whenever I was getting, or whenever you were getting your haircut. Maybe you should ask the questions in the second half. So we'll come in here one week and I'll sit right there and you ask me the questions one week. I've not had that yet, and I've had a few coaches ask me, and I want to see how that feels to get asked the questions. It's easy when you're asking the questions.
Come out to Stoney Creek this Friday. I'll give you a headset, and then I'll take your phone. I'll record
All right.
let you call some of the plays.
Ooh. It's intriguing. I might have to do that. I'll have to look at the playbook, though, a little bit. I'll just know what we run. Might run that play back there on the board, too.
That one.
Maybe.
Feel special.
Yeah. But, Coach, that's all I've got for you this week. I don't know if there's anything else to add unless you want to add anything at the end.
Well, shout out to Starnes Barber Shop.
Shout out to Baileyton Drug Company.
And I do need to go get my allergy medicine.
There you go. Coach, that's all I've got for you this week. Thank you once again. Glad to be back at the round table. Feeling a little chilly now. Finally feeling like the Tundra out here in Baileyton, but that's all we've got this week. Thank you for watching this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company Eric Tilson Show, presented by Starnes Barber Shop. We look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.